Hello and welcome, I'm Jay the Fanboy and you are watching Franchise Frenzy. Hey, does anyone else remember when Batman didn't have to be dark and gritty in order to be fun to watch?
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him.
Before that... Closer? But no. The Batman I'm referring to was the one from the 1960s, the one starring Adam West. This version was wacky, goofy, innocent, full of harmless fun, and even got its own theatrical release. This movie was made long before the 1989 Batman and was the first Batman theatrical release ever. How does it hold up today? Well, we're looking at it to find out. Let's look at Batman, 1960s movie. As silly as that was, strap in, because there's a lot more where that came from. Our story begins with a dynamic duo investigating a crime and reviewing a list of criminals who could be responsible for it.
Tell me, Commissioner, what known super criminals are at large just now? Check it once, Batman. Status report. Known super criminals not currently in prison. The Penguin. The Joker. What, the Riddler too? Gosh, and the Catwoman.
Wait a second. There are 4 villains in this movie? Well, no wonder it didn't get a sequel. You never do that. You're breaking the unwritten rule of superhero movies. You never have more than 2. There's an unwritten rule in superhero movies that says if you ever have more than 2 villains in your movie, your universe is going to get rebooted. Just look at Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Rises. In all cases, there were more than 2 villains in these movies. And in all cases, those movies ended up getting their universes and their franchises rebooted. You don't do that unless you want a reboot. Other than the fact that there are too many villains in this movie, how do these villains perform? 3 of them do rather well. But the Joker kind of underperforms in this version. That's about the best amount of the Joker you get in this movie. The rest of his performance is very underwhelming and not at all Joker-esque. He deserves to have his own movie. And luckily for us in the future, that's exactly what we get.
Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker. And as you can see, I'm a lot happier.
First thing tomorrow, I'm sending a lovely case of cat food to Batman.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone.
On to the plot of this movie. Our 4 villains hatch a 2-part plan. The first part is to kill Batman and get him out of the way for the second part. The second part? Kidnap the United World Council and hold them for ransom. Spoiler alert, both plans fail. Now that we've talked about the villains of this movie, let's take a look at the heroes. Let's look at this version of Batman. Here, he is not a vigilante on the run from the law, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies. Nope. This version is something entirely different.
Batman and Robin are fully deputized agents of the law. Support your police. That's our message.
You heard right, folks. In this version, Batman is a police officer. Not only that, but he's also a zookeeper, firefighter, head of the town council, city mayor, author, gardener, school teacher, psychic, the military, the Coast Guard, Border Patrol, Zen Master, leader of the Autobots, Time Lord, Pokemon Master, and he runs the Lost and Found. How and why does he do all this?
Because you're Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
This version of Batman even talks to the press.
Please to take off the mask to give the better picture.
If Robin and I were to remove our masks, the secret of our true identities would be revealed.
Really? Is that so? Well, if I make an obvious statement, it will be an obvious statement. Give Batman some credit, though. He does one thing better than all his future counterparts.
Hey, I'm Batman. You wanna know my secret identity?
Hey, boys.
Hey, I'm Batman. You wanna know my secret identity?
Funny as that was, this joke has a point. This version of Batman, when faced with a pretty girl, doesn't reveal his secret identity to her. I know, it's unheard of, right? No other version does that. This version of Batman even falls for Catwoman just like all the others do, but unlike all the others, he keeps his secret identity to himself. Not revealing your secret identity to Catwoman or anyone else? That takes dedication. Moving on to the plot, our villains have kidnapped a yacht and its captain, who are carrying a very special cargo which will be used later. Batman goes to investigate, only to find an exploding shark waiting for him. Crazy as that scene was, the exploding shark is only the beginning of this movie's cruelty to marine life. Later on in the movie, there's also an exploding octopus and an exploding porpoise. Why does this movie hate aquatic animals? How much marine life had to die to make this movie possible? Where was PETA back in the 60s? Where was Aquaman? Does he even know that all of his friends are exploding for the sake of Batman in this movie? I mean, Aquaman has to be pissed about this, right? Moving on, Batman, being the master detective he is, figures out the fiendish foursome's fearsome plan and begins to track them down.
Hello, Admiral. A routine question. Have you recently sold any war surplus submarines, and if so, to whom?
Answer affirmative, Batman. We disposed of a war surplus submarine last Friday. A pre-atomic model. To some chap named P.N. Gwynn.
Did this P.N. Gwynn leave an address?
No, just a post office box number.
Anyone else miss the days prior to 9/11 when you didn't even have to leave your full address to acquire a submarine from the military? No questions asked, right? I mean, those must have been the good old days to be a supervillain. Batman is hot on the trail, and the villains make multiple attempts to kill him.
We shall spring them from the Joker's Jack in the Box, through that window, out over the sea, and into the waiting arms of the Penguin's exploding octopus. The trigger, one of my riddles, of course. And the bait, you, Catwoman.
Great plan, guys! This is sure to work. It's not like anyone else could fall on that button. Whoopsie! What a waste of a perfectly good henchman. I tell you, the Henchmen Union must really be pissed at the villains after the events of this movie. After multiple failed attempts to kill Batman, they finally just decide to leave a bomb in their old headquarters for him to find.
Quick! Everyone! Flee for your lives!
Why Batman doesn't just leave the bomb there to explode while getting everyone else out of his secret lair is beyond me.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Hey Batman, remember that other time when you tried to get rid of a bomb? Well, I guess getting rid of a bomb is never easy for you, Batman. After all, look at the number of reboots you've had. Sorry, bad joke. So the villains finally hatch their master plan and use the dehydrator to kidnap the World Council. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you dehydrated someone, it would look a lot more like this. And this is the portion of the movie where I call bullcrap. If somebody came into a room full of arguing people and started shooting people with any kind of a gun, much less a dehydrator, you wouldn't continue to sit there arguing with each other as if nothing was happening. You would notice as a person next to you turned to dust. You would get up, you would run, you would beg for your life, you would hide, you would make a bolt for it. You'd bolt for the door, you'd try to find cover, you'd do anything, you'd get out of there. But you wouldn't sit down and continue to argue. You would do literally anything besides that. Of all the unbelievable moments in this movie, this right here is the most unbelievable. So to wrap things up, Batman beats the bad guys and saves the containers of dehydrated ash and tries to return them to the World Council. Unfortunately for him, an ill-timed sneeze makes the job a lot harder. Now it's not only up to Batman to rehydrate the World Council, but to sort out the ash piles into individual people. But no worries, if anyone can, Batman can. Because he's Batman! And that's exactly what he does.
Robin, prepare to rehydrate. Ready to rehydrate. Turn on the water faucet.
So Batman and Robin slip out the window inconspicuously, while everyone else looks on in amazement at the fact that the World Council is completely oblivious to the fact that we're literally just ash piles 2 seconds ago. They're doing the exact same thing they were doing before being turned to ash, as if nothing had ever happened. This movie is stupid, corny, innocent, and a load of fun. It was a different movie for a different audience at a different time. Watch at your own risk and remember the innocence of decades past. Although it's not nearly as believable as the Batman we have today, you can still watch it and enjoy the lighter side of the hero. Till next time, I'm Jay the Fanboy. Laters.